Here I am, bigSHow theGod. Just trying to stay consistent. So, level up part 2. Got when I went through the last one, we went through this notes here. There's actually this one, bigSHow next level, leveling up, what, why, when, how, scientific method, etc., etc. So what I was going to say today was level up part 2, the emotional value of that. So you see here, this was all kind of scientific, measurable, repeatable, practical, and here was the tools to use, journaling. And I kind of briefly went on create connection with the vision. Need a vision, right? So that kind of leads into the emotional value of this, because it's really important to be aware or self-aware of the emotional value, in my opinion. So self-aware of the emotional value. Now the reason for that is I reckon the more I do that, it does two things in my mind. It creates honesty, real honesty. I think if you stay too clinical, too scientific, too logical, without the emotional stuff that's going on, then that reduces the honesty, I think, because it's not giving the whole process. It's kind of like when you do something but it was difficult, but you see you just did it. 1 + 1 = 2. But if that was difficult to work out emotionally, physically, mentally, to go through, then unless you share that, all you get is 1 + 1 = 2. And that's a problem. It's not just math. It's not just science. It's not just maths and measures and processes. The emotional part. So what I'm saying is, that's where honesty comes in. So honest the whole way. Honest how hard it was to win. Honest when we lose. Honest when we fail. Honest when we succeed. Honesty of our emotions and what was going through our minds and how it was impacting all the way, even though the result was X. Because otherwise we just go X plus 1 + 1 = 2. We're missing. You're missing ingredients there, right? You're missing the sleepless nights, the how you felt when you're injured, how you overcome the mental side of getting up, how you overcome all those. Instead it was just, I did that today. Tick, tick, tick. Ticked all my steps. Okay, still missing a piece. And that's what I'm trying to say with these. So journaling is a tool that it's not supposed to just be 1 + 1 = 2. It's not just a maths equation. And that you should be journaling your true feelings, your honest feelings, your what that did to you emotionally, how you felt about the other person, what you were thinking that they were thinking, all this sort of stuff. I mean, those are true things that we go through, right? So these are the key bits. The processes and tools, cool. We can all do that. The main part to leveling up is identifying and being self-aware of the emotional value. So honesty, big one. And then in my head, communication. So communication is massive. And for me, it's difficult as hell. Because it requires quite a lot of things in my head. Honesty, you're only as honest as you're aware of, right? The more honest you become, the more you might probably realize that you have to communicate. You have to communicate more, better, widen your vocabulary, lots of ways, right? You have to listen, all that thing. So communication is a lot there. So active listening, I'll just go more communication, more sharing. How's that? And then self-aware, with avoiding. Because there's kind of no way to get around the concept that we end up, if something is emotionally difficult, probably not really keen to do it, whether we like it or not, or whether we want to say it, how to say it, do we have time to say it, is it worth saying, rah rah rah. So we're self-aware that I'm avoiding it. That will help. And that will help by the other two. The more you listen, the more you share, the more you communicate, the more you become self-aware of the stuff you're avoiding. It'll put you in the place. So eventually you can maybe say it. So the more you practice this, gives, what should we call that, opportunity. Gives opportunity to deepen the relationship. So in my opinion, those are the things that are required to do that. I may have missed something, I don't know, but that's at least some of it. So yeah, so examples of this. So it's an example of this. So an example would be, if you're alone all the time, consistently, regularly, for lots of years, then it's probably likely that you haven't done much of the above. And if you have, my self-awareness to that would be the result hasn't really helped. So as you peel back this type of process, what I suspect would happen is what starts to happen is you start valuing yourself. You start valuing others. That, in my opinion, becomes a byproduct of the leveling up. And then it's a matter of I guess adapting to change that comes from this. Because the most obvious thing that should happen is change, and whether I adapt to that change, and do the others adapt. Because the reality will be is that I'll make decisions based on situation and perspective that I am at. Right? Whether I like it or not, these are influenced. They will be influenced. Every decision I make will be influenced at some level. And what I mean by that is whether it's influenced by me and wherever I'm at the time of my knowledge and understanding and what I can handle of that. Then there's other factors in those same decisions that are influenced by other people. So if we go myself, others. That's just, it is what it is, right? So then we get to the point where some of the decisions we make are not agreed upon by the other people, or they don't share that perspective, or they don't share that opinion, or they're not. They just disagree. It's an outcome. So we got disagreements. So how do we manage those? So remember, if we're doing a lot of this, a lot of honesty, a lot of communicating, a lot of listening, sharing, self-aware, what should evolve from that is some of these. You just have to. So that's where it's important, in my opinion. That's when That's the true reflection of whether you've improved or you're communicating better. Because how to do something when people disagree anyway. And they can be important to you. They can be very important to you. But you're doing it anyway. Because that's what you want to do. I would advise that the things you're trying to do at least are logical and reasonable. But, you know, if they're not, you know, if you're taking drugs or if your alcohol's out of control and all those sorts of things, it makes that tough conversations, right? Why would we let that continue? So those seem simpler because it's hard for us to agree to keep doing those types of things that others that I would see that could be impacting on you more than you're saying it does. So what do we do with that? I think your health is not, that this isn't a good idea for your health, yet you keep doing it. Now where are we? And that's happening all the time, right? If we're honest, that's where honesty comes in, right? And the communication. It's now where are we when we've communicated, we're being honest, and there's no change. So managing no change. That's tough, right? Because where does that come back to? What does that do to you? You get frustrated. You go over it again. If you're in your space a lot, it's happened again, it's happened again, it's happened again. Now where are we? Right? Those are the bits. You know, it's all different if we're all reasonable. If we all go, yeah, oh no, you make a very good point. No. Eating these donuts is probably not a good idea. I'm going to stop eating those now. Thanks for that advice and communicating that to me and being honest and listening and sharing your story about all your crap and being self-aware and all that stuff. Excellent, mate. I'm going to stop right now. Done. Doesn't look like that, though, does it? So, what do we do about that? Well, what I do is I go, who do I have control of? Who do I have control of? I only have control of myself. There is stuff now that I didn't want to do. There's stuff that I want to do. Have I done it? Have I stopped it? Fact is, no. I can sit here and say, well, yeah, but I'm not doing that. I'm at this level, I've got this level, I'm doing this with that. Oh, well, so what? So fucking what? That's great for you. And it's true. It's great for me. But at the end of the day, then why don't you go do your shit? You carry on being you. And keep, if you're not drinking, then don't fucking drink. You shared your story. And you don't drink. Good for you. Right? Does that mean I sit here and be the fucking commander-in-chief of decision-making for drinking or not drinking? Just because I have 0 and you have 2 or 3 or 10 or 20 or 200? Whoop-de-fucking do. But then I have to listen to you saying you don't want to and saying you think it. That's reasonable. Now you're asking me for an opinion? Well, that's then you got to be careful. Careful when you ask me for my opinion, because you'll get it. But even then, you ask me for my opinion, you get my opinion. Now what? It's for me, it's the same. You got my opinion, and that's it. Now you have to accept me rolling my eyes, being kind of like judgmental, and being all those fucking things, in my opinion, because I don't know what else there is. Right? And vice versa. If I ask you for some advice and you tell me, stop doing this, and I don't, or I didn't, then what am I expecting you to think or be or behave or have or judge or have a view of? It would be illogical if you didn't. So we just have to manage that. Well, I have to. Does that mean our connection's gone? Our relationships no good? It's not going to work? Depends. Just depends, right? There is some level to it. There's levels to everything. So anyway, that's my kind of quick evaluation on how I built in working through the emotional value of leveling up. And I'm going to say honesty and communication are the two. And that requires listening, sharing more communication, more self-aware of when I'm avoiding a subject, more self-aware of where I'm over discussing, all that stuff within the balance of it. And then if I keep practicing all those, then generally our relationship deepens. Because I always have this, I guess it's like a motto for me now. I always say, what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? If I says to my wife and I disagree with something she says, what's the worst that can happen if I tell her? She'll get upset. She'll be annoyed. Will she die? Will she leave me? Possibly. Is it possible or probable? Probably not. As long as it's well thought out and it's not fucking idiotic. You know, it is still just an opinion. But opinions do matter, so I won't put them at the bottom of the thing. This means if you're communicating more and you're genuine and you're honest and you are listening and you're coming back to the subject with that intention, I think you'll be fine.